checking it out.
Hey, why not? Work out your own salvation.
Absolutely. Something.
You good?
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we will give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Chakwadash. Double honors, as always, to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone, who rule well. Peace and salutations, as always, to the elect. All right, Great Millstone, Dallas, joined by the beloved Elder Apostle Orion Lob. All right, another Tuesday to push the glorious word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai while we still have these platforms, which we know the times are speeding up. The Lord is hastening these prophecies, and pretty soon, you know, these platforms where we're able to preach this word, all right, will be gone.
Yep.
Okay, and you won't see, you know, the true prophets of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai on the highways and the byways, because the spirit of Yahweh through Yahweh Shai and the angels is going to work with the leadership to know when to basically withdraw.
Yep.
Right? As the scriptures say, the prudent, somebody get that? The prudent shall keep silent in that time. We're coming up on those times, because really, there's really not much more to say. Everything has been said, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, you don't know who's out there who needs to hear, to be sealed. So we have a job to do, all right, while exhorting you sincere brethren who are watching, as well as you sisters who watch, all right, who are sincere, to repent and prepare yourselves, you know, for the great and glorious day of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which in the spirit, that's the best thing you can do, is repent.
Yeah.
Always acknowledge your offense first. All right, pray to the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Root yourself in the word. Root yourself in belief in the resurrection, because physically, it's not really much you can do for what's really coming.
That's it.
The Lord is just going to have to be with you, man.
That's it.
So the best thing you can do right now is to what? Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. But
That's the bottom line. If I may say
absolutely,
something too.
absolutely.
And pretty much, you know, the time is coming where, like the elder's saying, you're not going to have these videos to fall back on.
Right.
So the time of all these different distractions out here is going to come to an end. You know, and the only thing that's going to be between you and the hope of salvation is your relationship between Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, what you're doing for the Lord, and what you've learned and what you've been retaining, and you know, and practicing, for lack of better words, in this truth. You know, because you know, it ain't gonna be, you know, because at the end of the day, we can't hold anybody's hand to bring them into the kingdom, just like no one can hold our hand to bring us into the kingdom.
Right.
You know, when the scriptures say work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, it means just that. You know, it's a one path, one man, one path, one way, you know, and no one can hold your hand to make it there. You can't get to the kingdom off the merits of anybody else's work. You know, so if you think that you're in a camp that has a lot of men in it, and then, you know, you have the elders, the top men and brothers in it doing a lot of works, and you have a good name as a camp, don't think that you will be able, you know, to get a seat in there just based off of their works and their merits, because it doesn't work like that.
Right.
So that time is coming where, you know, whatever relationship you have with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that's what's going to count in these times. You know, and if you don't have that relationship with the Lord, there's going to come a point where all of these distractions you see are going to be gone. And if you're not locked in the spirit, you know, and if you ain't doing your videos, you ain't doing what you're supposed to do for the Lord, what do you think the Lord's going to do for you? The Lord ain't got nothing. You know, if you don't, the scriptures say, he that reapeth sparingly shall, or he that soweth sparingly shall reap sparingly. You know, so if you're not putting in the work now, but you're waiting for all hell to break loose because you know the names of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and you want to call on those names when that time comes, well, guess what? You ain't giving anything, so you ain't going to reciprocate anything.
That's right.
Yeah, brothers got it.
Nah, that's heavy, you know. So, because this is like the Elder Banyamyan out in Mississippi, he did a video, a few videos. He talks about how these platforms is our business,
Yeah.
and we know that the Lord, He gave us the money. What's that one scripture where it talks about the napkin or what?
Yeah, that's Luke 19.
Yeah, Luke 19. Okay, so we've been given a gift. Okay, and ultimately we're supposed to be utilizing those gifts and faith according to your measure, all right? Because you're not going to do, you know, some brothers ain't going to do what other brothers do, but what you have, you need to be putting your best foot forward, man. And of course, it goes beyond doing videos. It has to be a personal, you know, washing, right? Ultimately, making your body a living sacrifice, renewing your mind, man.
Being brotherly.
Right, being brotherly, because that a lot of these things that's going on inside of you will be addressed if you don't use the water to wash these things, man. We were given this grace period to grow, to get better, not to remain the same bitter niggas.
Right.
Okay, just niggas that know the names and that can just pull the names out and to seem right. You have to really be right or fighting.
Yeah.
The Lord likes a fighter. Some battles ultimately ain't going to be defeated until Yahweh Shah himself returns, but the Lord likes a fighter, man.
Yeah.
Because these things that we go through are conditions of the battle, man.
That's right.
And we have everything needed to overcome through the blood of Yahweh Shai, if you believe.
That's it.
Okay? So
I got
whatever,
you.
you know, whatever, brothers.
Yeah,
You
this
know.
is Luke 19 and 12. He said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. That's Yahushua. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds, and said unto them, occupy till I come.
Mm.
You know, now I just want to jump to the main point that the elder
Absolutely.
was speaking about,
Yep, occupy.
which is, occupy till I come. Basically, when you go to the word, it goes back to the root, like pragmatic, means to work.
Mm.
You know, so when you're pragmatic, that means you're working. So the Lord said, occupy till I come, meaning you're supposed to be doing work. What's the work you're supposed to be doing? Taking this money that the Lord gave you and trading it out there. You know, not hiding it. You know, scriptures speak about those that hide their wisdom and their beauty. You're supposed to, you know, have wisdom out there, flaunting wisdom out there, you know, like someone wears a nice gold chain, you know, or some type of jewelry. You don't buy the jewelry to keep it, you know, in your treasure chest,
Exactly.
or keep it on your dresser. You know, you like to put that on because it's a conversation piece, right? So when we jump down to the 20th verse, it says, and another came saying, Lord, because you had the two that did the work, and the Lord blessed them, gave him one, he gave 10 cities, the other one he gave 5 cities.
Mm.
Verse 20. And another came said, Lord, behold, here is thy pound, which I have kept laid up in a napkin.
Mm.
So basically, he got the money, and instead of putting it out there, he's storing it.
Yes.
So that money that you have, that could have been accumulating more or accumulating interest, is sitting somewhere
Just
dormant,
sitting.
not doing anything with it. You know,
Right.
I mean, and whatever, you know, whenever y'all want to jump in.
No, you got it. You wrapped up in a bag next to, you know, a weed cookie.
You got that.
Just sit, you know,
Edible.
just sitting there. You got the truth. You just sit. It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you say you believe. Meanwhile, the Lord is doing all of these glorious things for us. Because when we go into these prophecies coming to pass, we're literally glorifying Yahweh Bashim Shai.
Right.
Yeah.
It ain't something that we just bring out
Yeah.
as a means to sound deep or say, you know, no, it's like literally the Lord said that this would happen, and it's happening.
Yeah.
You should want to glorify that.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys out there that got a problem with this, that are in Great Millstone, you can leave.
Roll out.
You know, those of you out there that ain't doing the work, you've been 2, 3, 4, 5 months that you ain't do the work, you gotta go. You know? You know, there's suspensions coming, and there's gonna come to a point where the Lord's just gonna kick guys out
Right.
without giving suspensions. It all depends on the severity of the spirit. Because
Yeah.
we're in a very serious time where playing games is not going to be tolerated by the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shai.
Yeah.
You know, here it is, you think you could just, you know, just do just the bare minimum, but then when it comes to anything else in your life, you put in your whole
You go
effort hard into it, you know? But when it comes to the work of the Lord, you're just barely doing just the bare minimum just to get brothers off your back.
Right. Yep.
So that means you're not coming in the right spirit.
Yep. Yep. And that's dope. You said that the ones who did the work, the Lord gave them cities.
Yeah.
And that's how, I operate. We don't know, we know not what we shall be, but I look at it like when we get in the kingdom, the Lord is going to give, that governing body particular regions of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And of course, everything is going to be based upon, rank, order. But I want that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want that, man.
Yeah.
I want to sit at the table with Yahweh Shai. Of course, being large multitude, being joined into that governing body, hey, I'll take that too, as long as I'm there. But I want to be at the forefront of changing the earth back to righteousness.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not playing with this word. Anything that we got going on in this world, it really, at the end of the day, that's exactly what it is. Something going on in the world.
Temporary.
It's temporary. You can't allow these things to weigh you down to where you're not finding joy in what Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is doing. Because that's basically what you're saying when you take 3-4 months off, or you just lethargic about it, the word or the work. It's basically saying you're not excited.
No.
You're not appreciative after saying you believe in the resurrection, after saying you believe in this, what's been taught. To see it happen is it's not making you more fervent.
Right.
Then hey, man, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. Now, that doesn't mean you wicked, but hey, the Spirit set up the men of the Lord to light a fire under your ass, whether it's through rebuke, whether it's through suspension, whether it's through whatever. But you better come correct to the Lord in these times, man.
Yeah, because if you're not doing the work, then you are wicked.
Yeah.
Because the scriptures say, thou wicked servant.
Yeah.
As we read on. Now, not every brother's not going to do a video a day.
Right.
That's understandable. Every man doesn't have that spirit. But brothers should strive at least to try to do that. But if not, then do what you can. But don't have your page dormant. If you have your page dormant for more than a week, that's a problem.
That's a problem, yeah.
If you have your page dormant for 3 months, that's a problem. Yeah. You have one individual had his page dormant for like 4 years or some shit like that. But then he was the main one watching over everybody.
Yeah, getting telling brothers.
Yeah, telling everybody, well, brother, you gotta get in order, you gotta do your videos. And then they're gonna find out this guy 4 years, he ain't nothing going up on his page. That's a major problem. And whatever y'all got, I'm gonna continue on here.
You got it.
It says, for I feared thee because thou art an austere man. Yeah. Thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapest that thou didst not sow. And he says unto him, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Why did he call him a wicked servant? Because he didn't do the work.
He didn't do the work, right, yeah.
So if you don't do the work, you're a wicked servant. Because, you serve no good purpose. What does Scripture say? If the soul has lost its savor, it is good for nothing but to be cast out, to the dunghill or to be burnt, destroyed. It says, thou knewest that I was an austere man, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow. Wherefore then gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required mine own with usury. The Lord invested money into us. We're very privileged to have, out of all these Israelites out here, probably half the world are Israelites, right? The elder pastor said he believes probably about like 4 billion people are Israelites. And I believe that because, you have more Israelites than any other nation. So out of all these people, at least half the population of the world, or close to it, or maybe a little bit more, we were given this truth, this knowledge, entrusted with it. The true understanding that the world would love to have, and you ain't doing nothing with it. The Lord said he's going to take that away from you, which he seemeth to have. It says, and he said unto them that stood by, take from him the pound, and give it to him that had 10 pounds. Right? And they said unto him, Lord, he hath 10 pounds. For I say unto you that unto every one which hath shall be given, and from him that hath not, even that he has shall be taken away from him. That's why the main prayer is what? Take not thy Holy Spirit away from him. Pursuant to King David, the beloved of the Most High, that had the presence of mind to say something like that. And he's the beloved of the Most High. He's praying like that. What does that say about us?
Right.
And it says, but those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. Because at the end of the day, if you're not doing the work, that means you don't believe in your heart of hearts that Yahweh Shai is coming back to establish his kingdom on the earth. So you're an enemy. And you don't want the Lord to rule. Because if you really believe that, you would be out there in the forefront doing what you were supposed to do for the Lord, you know, and putting this money out that he invested into us.
Right. He invested.
You know?
Yeah, he
You got
invested.
that.
This is Amos chapter 5, verse 13. Therefore the prudent shall keep silence in that time, for it is an evil time.
Right. Hey, get that scripture, the day cometh where no man worketh.
Yeah,
I believe that's John.
John 9.
9. Yep. What does it say above that?
Verse 12. For I know your manifold transgressions
Mm-hmm.
and your mighty sins. They afflict the just. They take a bribe and they turn aside the poor in the gate from their right.
And this is what the wicked leadership of Israel was doing back then, and the same thing is going on now.
That's right.
All right, but go ahead.
This is back in verse 13. Therefore the prudent shall keep silence in that time, for it is an evil time.
So the Lord is going to stop the men of the Lord from correcting, rebuking, warning, and that's when it's going to get ugly, man. So there's going to come a point where the prudent, this precious word, will not be readily available on the internet, on the streets, and that's when things are going to get bad. The bad times that we're talking about, I'm talking about when you measuring water with fear.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not, the food is short, it's different. The lights go off for, weeks at a time, maybe months. You know what I'm saying? And you just like, damn.
You're having a Cuba moment.
Yeah.
They're catching hell out there.
Yeah,
Cuba.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
They got Israelite women in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. The rich port. It ain't so rich right now.
Yeah. And
I'm sorry, brother. And all this stuff is staged. What you got?
Yeah.
well, look at the Illinois Tyson plant. They laid off 2,700 people like that.
Just like that.
I told them, yeah, you'll get 2 months of pay. But bro, jobs ain't out here hiring like that.
2 months, man. You've been there years. They fire your ass and say, we'll give you 2 months of pay.
Yeah.
Good luck. Don't give you no sausage, no chicken, nothing.
Yeah.
Nigga, nothing. Nigga, just have a good luck.
And some of them probably was getting ready to retire maybe
Yep.
another year or so.
Yep. I'm gonna give me a house on the lake. He was probably in the break room warming up that sandwich, talking all. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And you show up the next day, and that's it. We closing up shop.
Yeah.
Suddenly, the sewn places become unsewn.
Yeah.
Certain restaurants you like,
Yep.
you get your mouth ready to eat it. It's closed permanently.
That's it.
This is the times we live in. So it's gonna come a point where there's no more warning.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna be left to your own men. There's a lot of you still scoffing, mocking, like Bakwasha Hard Rock Troop popped up on the Apostle Gabar's video, mocking. Yeah.
Talking about the Clear 230?
Yeah, Baloo.
Damn.
Here's Apostles on the treadmill. He said, go to the gym. That's your gym membership. A gym membership just costs $15. The Apostle's like, I got a gym membership.
Yeah.
I want to do this video at home. But that's just a bitch ass nigga, man.
Yeah.
And you want to show you see him, you want to show him respect, but he does everything to lose it, man. Like, what are you planning for still in 2026? I asked him about the chip. He said, we'll see. So it went from him gluing a potato chip to his hand,
Right.
mocking, to we'll see.
Yeah.
We don't know yet.
Well, we're gonna see because you're gonna be put in a bad situation.
Yeah.
You guys has been playing games and not paying attention, scoffing. Now you ain't scoffing anymore.
Yeah, now we don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you got individuals that spoke against the MOTV being a microchip, doing videos on the digital infrastructure going up.
Yeah, that's what the video he did, because I saw him scoffing and I went to the page and he got a video going into AI.
There you go.
Going into the digital, and I was like, well, wait a minute, what does because I usually don't, but I was like, well, what does the microchip have to do with all of this?
Right.
He said, we'll have to see. We don't know yet. Well, the scriptures say that the prophets tell you things before they come to pass.
Right.
It ain't like when it comes in, it's like, oh, wow, okay, this is the mark. No.
Right. Identification of the prophecy comes before it happens.
Yeah.
And we're at the point now where the Lord is revealing what these prophecies are.
Man.
And the prophets have been speaking about it. Even before there was all this readily available information out here.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
catching the brunt of the ridicule and scoffing. You know, and now that everything is coming out, now people are having a change of heart.
Yeah.
You got scoffers that used to scoff us years ago. Said, I see that what y'all saying is true. You know,
The
right.
gainsayer being, but a lot of you, the Lord still go destroy your ass.
Yeah, that's it.
Unless you repent now. Can we get Revelation 14 real quick and start at I guess 7, maybe?
You still want that in John 9?
We'll get that in just a minute. Yep. Let me see. Revelation 14. Yeah, start at 8. We'll start at 6 and then read down.
This is Revelation 14 and verse 6. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth.
So this is the everlasting gospel, the new song. And it says an angel flying in heaven because this word literally comes from the heavens and is brought to men on the planet Earth via Yahweh Shah and the angels. There's different angels that are set to give brothers, different messages. Every video we do, the Lord basically seals your instruction the night before so you can wake up, do what you got to do. But the sermon you go bring out in the videos it's all set. The angels are in control of that.
Yeah.
Synonymously, they're working on the mind of Trump and the rest, on the left-hand side to do, fulfill prophecy. You gonna say something?
Say Yahweh Shai is the conductor.
Right. Right.
You got it, Elder?
Nah, keep going. So the everlasting gospel, to preach to them. Read it again.
Oh, because I was doing a lesson and I had looked up that word supply
Mm.
in the book of Philippians 1 and 19.
Mm-hmm.
By that, with the Spirit supply, something like that.
Right.
And that word supply goes back to pretty much when you keep going back through the different root words, it goes back to a conductor.
Mm.
One that sets up, the band and everything,
Mhm.
and pays for everything.
Yeah.
So
Right.
everything's been paid for.
Mm.
All we got to do is go out there and perform what the Lord told us to do.
Right.
We just got to play our part. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to, go into setting up the platform is set up. Other men have labored and we have entered into their labor.
Absolutely.
So everything is already set. All you got to do is go out there and do the work.
That's it. Right. That's it.
What are you waiting for?
Go ahead.
Revelation 14 and 6. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth,
Mm-hmm.
and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people.
The scriptures say, and this gospel shall be preached as a witness to all the different nations, and then shall the end come. Go ahead.
Verse 7, saying with a loud voice, fear Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come.
So while Esau is saying, basically, you're going to bow to his technology, his science, the men of the Lord are on the earth saying, no, fear Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
And worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea
Mm-hmm.
and the fountains of water.
Right. Go ahead.
And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, is
Mhm.
fallen,
Mhm.
the great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine and of the wrath of her fornication.
Showing you this song is going to lead to that destruction.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
And it's going to be beautiful
It's gonna be
because,
beautiful.
people don't have a clue that the message that we're speaking right now, this is what's going to get you to the finish line.
That's right.
This is the very thing that you need to get you there.
Right.
And the Lord supplied us with everything possible.
Everything.
There was nothing left out. He paid for everything.
Blood, yeah.
The
There's
blood,
all the tools.
yeah, he set everything up. He set the table up for us. All we had to do was go out there and do what we had to do. All we had to do was serve out the plates.
That's right. Go ahead.
Revelation 14 and 9. And the third angel follows them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Bashem Yahweh Shai.
Showing you that they're warning about it. Showing you they know what it is. There's a group of men that are warning, telling you if you do this, if you take this, it's no gray area. They're identifying it. They're telling you what it is right there.
But Elder, why would the Lord say, don't take the MOTV, if you take it, you're going to die. But
Right.
then on the same breath,
Yeah.
He's not going to reveal to us
What it
the
is.
identity of what it is.
Right.
We ain't
What
gonna know.
sense does that make?
Going blind.
That don't make no sense.
And then-
You just like you said, he that calleth upon the name of the Lord shall be saved.
Right.
But then we don't know the name. So
That don't make sense.
So how can we get saved if you don't have the name?
The scripture said and when you read Revelation 1, read Revelation 1 and 1 real quick.
Revelation 1, verse 1, it says, the revelation of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, which Yahweh gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass.
Things which must shortly come to pass. So the vision he received on the Isle of Patmos was events that would take place from that time going forward into the future. So he saw it before it happened.
Right.
And he saw a group of men, all right, who are of the 144,000 with that new song on earth, warning, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark, the same, you're going to be destroyed. So they're identifying, and it separates. It said the beast, his image, and his mark. Those three things need to be qualified and broken down. And there are men on the earth doing that.
Yeah.
That's
And,
right.
and then when you go to the number, which breaks down to 666, the last 6 is stigma.
Stigma, there you go.
And then the scriptures speak about the stigma being the marks that the Lord bore upon his body,
Right.
in his hands, in his feet, in his side. And then when you go to that word for marks in Galatians 6 and 17, it's the word stigma. It speaks about, that soldiers in the past marked themselves that way, cut into themselves, for the devotion to their master, commander, or to their gods.
You want somebody to read it?
Yeah, but
If you if you go to Blue Letter and go to
Galatians.
or you can go to Galatians.
Oh, you got another way to get there?
Yeah, when you go to Revelation 8:13. Revelation.
Oh, right.
Because that word there, Kaisai stigma,
Yeah.
doesn't, unless you got a different way. 'cause I-
No, I'll show you.
Okay.
Go here, go to the interlinear,
Mm.
and you go to that 666. Where is it at? 666. The Kaisai.
It is expertise.
The 18th verse, is that the 18th verse?
Speak real quick.
Right, so basically at the end of the day, the 666 is there, but you have to be able to, first of all, you have to be led by the Holy Spirit, of Yahweh Bashem Shai, and you have to go into the original language that these words in the English were written in, and you be able to, when you go into those words, into the root words, you'll see what it's talking about. Just like the word charagma for mark. You go there, there's 3 root words to it. And each root word gives you the device, the delivery system, and the records.
Right.
You got it?
So you click that, boom. It's right there.
Oh, okay, right,
Yeah.
right. Another
Yeah.
one.
So you see the child size stigma, then it shows the stigma. Right?
Okay, the obsolete, okay.
And
Got
then
it.
you just boom.
All right,
Just
cool.
read that.
Yep.
For the apostle. Want me to go and read
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
This is the word for stigma.
And this is from the Strong's G4742, and this is the outline of the biblical usage.
Right, it says outline of biblical usage. You're not going to get the outline of biblical usage by just reading the English. Because you have the word mark. You have the word in Revelation 13, you have the name mark. You have the word mark in Romans 16 and 17.
Mark them which cause division.
Right,
That's
so
like 4
what
different
is it?
words for mark, right?
Because there's many different definitions when you go back to the original words in the original language.
That's right.
You got it.
And this letter was written to the Israelite churches scattered in Asia Minor, which basically were territories that were conquered by the Greeks and the Romans.
Yep.
So the majority of those churches there spoke Koine Greek.
Yep.
So when he wrote this letter, when this letter was given unto them, why did he use this word? What was he saying?
Right.
What exactly was he trying to get at? What did he see that he wrote this particular word down?
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because he was conveying to them, the sense of the word, like the elder's speaking about. Because they understood that what stigma is. Now you can have a stigma, as a bad name on someone,
Yep.
but this particular stigma, which he tied back to the prince in the Lord's hands.
Right.
That's why, you know, Thomas, he says, unless I see the Lord, if I put my finger in the prints and in the side, I'm not going to believe it.
Right.
And then Yahushua, when he came to him, he said, what? He goes, you know, put your fingers in the prints. And when you go to that word print, it's something that's been cut into.
Mm.
The same thing with this word stigma. You got it.
That's right. It says a mark pricked in or branded upon the body.
Right. A mark pricked or branded into the body. Right?
To ancient Oriental usage.
Yeah, there was a part where it says cut, right?
It
Yeah,
said-
you keep reading.
Okay.
I'll reread that part. It says to ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander.
So basically, what when you take this mark, which is the micro C here, what you're saying is that your devotion and your God is Esau.
Yep.
Yep.
And you pretty much are pushing the Most High out of the way, as Jake has done many, many times.
Mm-hmm.
You got it?
Yep. And basically he's saying this is an Oriental custom.
Mm.
So there was customs in kingdoms before, even going back to Egypt, where they would brand or tattoo their. As a matter of fact, you know, keep reading that, but somebody go to chat and look up, did the Greeks and Romans mark their subjects by tattoo or even military or branding?
And just in general, when
Yeah.
Jake was in captivity.
Right.
Jake had the earring.
Yep.
The earring, the stamp,
The brand,
the
yeah.
brand, and then what? Greek fraternities and so forth.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think what? Michael Jordan and Shaq, they
They
got
got
the
yep.
yeah.
And that's so the question is, if that which is then is now, what is the modern form of this custom? Because he said, read that again.
Because it's an identifier.
That's it.
That's right.
Because when you go to the word mark, it also says a badge of the followers of the anti-Messiah.
Right. Right. Or a mark put on horses. What
There
do
you go. Yep.
What do you put marks on cattle for? To
Right.
identify them.
There you go.
Especially if they get loose,
There
get
you
out
go.
the pen. Hey, that belongs to JC Farms.
That's
Right.
it.
You know what I'm saying?
So how did you know that belonged to such and such? Because his name or his mark was branded upon that animal.
There you go.
And if you hit that bullshit with a lucky guess, that means you're not a believer. Your mind is outside of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. And so the Lord, that's why the Lord marks the men that he wants. And then also marks those he don't want.
Right.
This is I'll read that part for you again. It says to ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander branded or pricked, and it has cut in parentheses, into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belong to.
So pretty much it's an identifier. It's a stamp, a mark that's going to identify you as being a follower of this anti-Messiah system.
Yep.
And I believe, this is my personal belief, that each one of those micro C hits is going to probably have like a special code, and each one of those codes
course.
is going to be relegated to, this belongs to the Carnegie, this slave belongs to the Rothschilds, this slave belongs to the DuPonts, so on and so forth.
Yeah, we got a social security number for a reason. America's a corporation, so
Right. And remember, the Social Security system was birthed out of the Great Depression.
Yep.
So, and a lot of people, ironically, back then when the Social Security card came out, or the number, they were linking it, a lot of so-called Christians were linking it to they were like, nah, this is the mark.
Right.
This is the system in which they're going to, identify. This is Revelation 13 and 16.
Right.
We can look that up too. Basically, did people think that the Social Security number was the mark of the beast, and they'll say it.
Yeah.
So now that we're entering into another depression, they're getting ready to digitize.
There you go.
It's getting ready to bring. They're gonna redo it, but in a whole new sense.
Because in 1935, when the Social Security was introduced, even before that, the tabulating system, those were all the beginning stages of trying out this system
That's it.
for tracking everybody.
That's it.
Right.
Yep. You got it.
Yeah, be too responsible to it.
Let's just bring out one just real quick.
Well, yeah, he was back there. Yeah, he told all his friends not to take their money out of the stock exchange to buy gold because it was about to crash.
That's the Daddy Bush, Prescott Bush. That's
That his father.
yeah.
I'm gonna let him read this for you, Apostle.
All right, but Bob, shut me
I went in there and asked chat did the Greeks and the Romans mark or brand their military or certain other people. It said yes, both Greeks and Romans use markings, brandings, both to practice deferred by period and by who is being marked. Romans, this is fairly strong evidence that the Roman military recruits were marked on the hands, and in the latter Roman Empire. The GTS, a Roman military writer, describes recruits receiving a military mark, described as stigmata, puncta, signorum, after they had passed their initial testing. The exact form, tattoo, or branding is debated. The Romans also marked their slaves, particularly runaway slaves,
like Esau
Yep,
does
they will
today.
put it on their forehead.
Yeah.
Yep.
or slaves being punished. Criminals or prisoners, sometimes on the forehead. Military personnel, particularly in latter Roman times.
So you running away, but you got a damn tattoo on your head.
Yeah.
Right.
They gonna know like
Yeah.
this is
You can't hide.
You can't hide. You know what I'm saying? So
But then again, like if you wear a hat, you can hide it.
right
So this thing that you have, it's not gonna be where you can
can't-
wear a hat.
yeah.
With it. It's gonna be in
in
you.
you. Right.
You know, and no matter where you run or hide, you can't mingle in because they're gonna be able to identify and spot you wherever you
Can't
go.
wiggle.
That's it. No more wiggling.
No more wiggling.
It's even like with deliveries, man. You curious where your package is, what can you do?
Right.
Track it.
Track it.
Yeah.
And they doing it with the dogs.
Man.
You know, now they're gonna do it with children. You know, basically if you wanna keep your children intact, you know where they at, you know, boom. You know, so this is gonna be the end all be all of peace and safety, pretty much.
Texas is mandatory for you to wear, actually
Chip-
chip the dog.
Chip your dog.
Yeah, so if you like take them to a dead or something like that, if they're not chipped, they're gonna say, well, they can't leave until you get them chipped.
Dang.
Right. And that's sort of like a piece of safety. Well, what if they get lost? Okay. And we see more and more the neural link, all of these things are being presented, you know, as a means of healing people and as a means of, this is the next wave of technology. I was looking at Glenn Beck, the Elder Ashiar put a video up with Glenn Beck was saying, he was talking to a dude and he was like, everybody's going to have it because without it, you're not going to be able, as AI takes over all facets of life, you know, and singularity is more apparent. What are regular human beings going to do to keep up? Well, you're going to have to merge yourself with machine. So John used this word. He basically said this is an oriental custom. Now, can we get that scripture, that which is in us now? Can we get it in the NLT, Mr. History? Yeah, hold that, but get Ecclesiastes 1:9 in the NLT. History merely repeats itself. So if the Greeks and the Romans, because this is the Greco-Roman beast system being revived,
Right.
if they marked and tattooed using brands and ink, how is that going to play out in today's world? Well, now they have the technology to where it doesn't have to be, you know, it can be in you. And this is what we've been warning about. This is what John the Revelator is talking about. You got it? Yep.
Okay, this is the Ecclesiastes, the first chapter in verse 9 in the NLT. And it reads, history merely repeats itself.
What does 8 say?
Verse 8 is everything is wearisome beyond description.
Okay, yeah, go to 9.
9. Ecclesiastes, the first chapter in verse 9 in the NLT. It reads, history merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. Nothing under the sun is truly new.
So the concept of marking a subject is not new,
Right.
but this form of how they're going to do it is new.
Right.
They've never been able to put an idol inside of you. You always had to bow to it.
Yep.
You know, you
Get marked with it.
get marked with it.
Yeah.
Because that was also how, as the elder keeps reading, that's also how you would show basically your vow to this God.
Right. The devotion.
Your devotion was by a mark or, you know, a brand or a tattoo. So that's going to be the oath to enter into the new world. If you don't have it, basically you through. You're going to be like trying to upload a YouTube video on a flip phone. You're going to be outdated.
on a beeper.
Right, on a beeper. You trying to do a video on a beep, it ain't it ain't gonna work. They're telling you you're gonna be left behind.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You can't read. Verse 10, Ecclesiastes 1 and 10, it says, sometimes people say, here is something new, but actually it is old. Nothing is ever truly new.
There you go. So history merely repeats itself. So as we deal with the aspect of the image of the beast, just know that the Greeks and Romans were heavy on branding. Even when Jake goes into these Greek fraternities, they get them brands on them.
Yep.
That's an oath.
Yeah.
I was in college. I know. That's an oath you take to a god unknowingly.
Boy told me, was it the third? Was it one of them told me? You know, they branded Jake with the ivy.
The ivy leaf. That's it.
You know.
That's it. So you can finish that, Apostle.
So that was like the old form of the of the mark, but that wasn't the MOTB because it's not tied to any records.
Right.
You know, this time, there's a series of words within the Greek, the different root words that give you the mark, the delivery system, and the records that are going to be stored on there in order to function in that society.
That's it.
You know, and then they relegate you. That's what the geofencing is about. They relegate you to just certain areas. So it's just like if you go into a building where you work at, and everybody has different badges, but there's certain people that have security clearances. And if you don't have security clearance to get into a particular room, you can only go so far in that building.
Right.
And that's the same thing with this MOTB, the micro CF. You're only going to be able to access certain areas. You got it.
It says, and there were even some devotees. And when you look at that word devotees, that's someone who's wholly committed to worship. Okay? Yep. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods.
There you go. And that a token is what? A sign. A sign is, this is showing your devotion to this particular God. Just like you have, individuals out here that belong to particular religions and they dress a certain way. And that dress in a certain way shows their devotion to that religion.
Right.
Well, in this case, that mark is going to be a badge, as it states for the definition of it, for the word karagma. It's a badge in order to be able to operate in this new system.
That's right.
And without it, you're not going to be able to function. You're not going to be able to maneuver or move around. That's what the whole thing about China was. The whole social credit system. It was a trial run for the system that they got going on all over the world. And it's not a coincidence that all nations are going digital.
Yep.
All nations are
All
going
of
digital.
All of them.
Every last one of them.
All of them. Even Iran.
Yep, and especially Iran. Because Iran is definitely doing what America is doing.
Yep. Read that for him.
God, this is the Strong's definition. It says to stick, prick, and this is in parentheses, and also a marked, incised, or punched for recognition of ownership.
And then the karagma, right? The karagma, and it's like, what else could that be?
What else are we talking? Yeah, like what?
And then the karagma, which is the Greek word, the Hebrew equivalent is kwai. When you go back to the book of Leviticus, the 19th chapter, where it says you shall not print any marks upon you. You go to that word mark, it goes to the word kwai, which is the same exact thing. But it's just one is in Hebrew, one is in Greek.
And
so it's in both Old and New Testament.
And it also states at the end, Apostle, scar of service.
There you go. Because I don't know how many of you brothers watched the movie The Eagle, right? When they captured, my man Chad Tatum.
Yeah.
Right? Channing Tatum. I'm mixing somebody else up. What did those pigs do? When they grabbed him up, the first thing they did was pull his head up and to see under his chin, and he said all of their gods marked him the same way. Because that was the mark under there from their helmet, the thing that holds the helmet in, and they would dig into under their chin. So they had a mark under there. And he said that their gods mark them all the same way. you know, and that was like, you know, their way of identifying who was a Roman devoted to the Roman Empire and their gods and who wasn't.
Mm. Ask chat how would the system of marking and branding play out in today's world?
I'm gonna get this for you, Roger. About the social security number.
Yep.
It says, yes, if you mean the social security number, some people historically have interpreted as being connected to the mark of the beast in Revelation 13.
Yep.
Especially when social security numbers or later computerized identification systems become widespread.
Right. So there was like groups of people when, you know, after the Great Depression, when they came with that system, that number, there was groups of people that were linking that number to the MOTB. So like you say, Apostle, each chip is going to have a number tied to it.
Only makes sense.
Only makes sense, right?
Because it's identification. So if you have, well, they consider the majority of the population Goyim, which they call cattle, which really means nation, right? If you have cattle, you have to have owners, and they have to be branded,
right.
and they have to be branded a particular way to identify who's the owner of these amount of cattle over here.
Yeah, they branded the slaves.
Yep.
With the actual, you know, with the branding tool, with the hot iron on their shoulder, neck, or whatever.
Yep, especially runaways. You look at that movie Antebellum, which is a real good movie. When they caught her, what did they do? They branded her.
Yep.
So that basically you'll know which master it belongs to.
But remember the movie Django, the Django,
Yeah.
the D is silent. You know, in that movie, remember he said no, don't mark her face. You know, the master don't want that. They want the brand there on the face.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about branding.
Branding.
And it leads back to what? Slavery. And when you had the awl and that they stuck into the man's ear, that proved that, you know, that was a witness that he was a servant for life.
That's it.
You know?
That's it.
This is gonna be the digital.
The digital all.
If I can add too about that social security number, that was a tracking system as well. You know, that's how they track people. You know, yeah, still to this very day, it's a tracking system. But that's why those people thought that was the equivalent of the mark of the beast at that time.
Because that was the only thing that made sense back then.
Right.
Because they didn't have the modern system today.
Right.
But they were on track to identify that it was something, you know, used for tracking. But the thing about it was they didn't understand that it was something that was going to go in you.
Right.
It wasn't just a number that they were going to, you know, put upon you, and this number is going to stay with you for the rest of your life. No, this is something that's going to be inside of you. Because the system that they got going on, you have to, you know, use that device to be able to access the system. You know?
Right. So this is real.
Yeah.
You know, John, when he wrote this down, he saw everything that we're witnessing. All right. Now, whatever you got.
I went in there and asked chat, how would the system of marking or branding be today in the modern world? And I'll go down to the point where it relates to Revelation 13. It goes into here, it says, in relations of Revelation 13, if you are studying Revelations 13, 16, and 17, there is an important distinction. The passage says the mark is associated with the right hand or forehead or with the ability to buy or sell. That means the key features to look for aren't simply something that identifies a person.
Shut the fuck up and tell us what you hell. I hate like chat, like trying to teach you.
Yeah.
Fucking tell us the answer, man. I be having to like, come on, man.
That a modern system would more closely parallel to the passage if it involved a required mark identifier, a person hand or forehead, submission to a particular authority, economic consequences for refusing
That's what the authority is, because if you don't have it, you're not going to be able to operate. And if you have it, that means that you're in subjection under the person that owns it.
That's right.
Right. A badge of ownership.
Yeah.
Right.
A mark of ownership. That's basically they want to own human beings.
That's why what did that devil Noah Harari say? He said humans will become hackable animals.
Hackable animals.
Right.
Because that's what they want. They want. This is why they're changing the food supply so that they can make the food themselves, so that they can patent it.
Right.
Right.
And they're trying to change people's, makeup so that they can patent people.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Because when you patent something, you own the patent. So that means you own this. This person is a part of your creation now. He's no longer part of the Most High's creation.
That's it.
Right.
So the Lord can't do nothing with you.
That's right.
He trying to be the most high. He gonna use a pattern like a DNA.
Yeah.
That's crazy as hell, man.
Yep. And this ain't medical information. We just talking about what the scriptures say.
That's it.
Right.
You have a spiritual
We're not
conversation.
doctors and we're not giving medical advice.
Nope.
It's not medical information. It's just we're sharing what the Bible is talking about
Right.
in prophecy.
Right.
Let's go to it says, for the things that we just read, it says modern technology can make some of those mechanisms of technology possible, but then it goes technology, but itself doesn't prove that any current.
See, he's just trying to. Chad is just trying to protect the small hats. So this is why you got to corner him. Be like, I asked you specifically, how would the system of branding and marking and tattooing servants and military men play out in today's world?
Right.
It's simple.
That's it.
Just the answer is simple. But see, they tried to reprogram chat to hide them and to protect them, and and still you can get the answer if you. But the bottom line is that would be through what? A micro CHIP.
That's it.
It's that goddamn simple, man.
That's it.
Microsoft, small software.
Mm-hmm.
Goes into biometric identification.
Yeah.
Yeah, and government identification, military. But like I say, I always try to deter you after it tells you. Then it say, but
Yeah, but you can't, because again, if they use the physical brand to say this belongs to me, how would they do that today?
Right.
right,
Because you got branding. Back like the scriptures speak about, if you find your enemy's ox, and somebody that you hate, you're supposed to still return it to him. So how do you know it was his? Because the ox was identified by his marking.
Right. Yep.
And they trying to have a little so-called decency and moral compass on there because they're dancing around it.
They dancing around.
And it's because it says the biggest difference from ancient societies. Historically, branding could be a mechanism of power and social control, which they about to reintroduce themselves.
That's it.
Today, the fundamental principle is essentially the opposite, which is not true.
No.
It says your body isn't a government's, employers, spouses, slaveholders, or another person's property. So if someone were forcibly branded today, the brand would be viewed primarily as evidence of violence committed against that person rather than as a legitimate mark defining who they are. And we know this all bullshit.
Yeah. But this how you learn how to read between the lines.
Right.
You eat the meat and you spit out the bones.
Right.
And most of the time when you go through these chat or AI overview, they got a lot of bones in it. You just got to be able to sift through it.
Right.
But it's good because it shows you that they know exactly what it is, but they're diverting.
They diverted.
Because why is it back in the days you used to go to Google, type in certain questions, you get the information quickly.
Right.
Now they divert you to something else. They fact checkers and
Fact
all that.
check, yeah.
Why they doing all that?
They
Because
leave.
they know that what we're saying is the truth.
Right.
But for most people out there, they're not going to get it.
Right. And when you look up the definition of charagma, it says a mark put on horses. Now Google why are horses. As a matter of fact, go to Revelation 13, look up charagma, and then somebody can just ask Google. You don't have to go to. We're tired of chat. Just go to Google. Chat cool. You just got to know how to ask Google why are horses marked or branded? Why are horses branded? What's the purpose of a horse being branded? Now, when you go to that word charagma, go to it and just read the definition.
So this is Strong's G5480 charagma, and the Strong's definition.
Well, just read all these.
Oh, hold on. Okay. A stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of followers of the Antichrist.
Mm-hmm.
The mark branded upon horses.
See, a mark branded upon horses.
Yeah.
Now, just ask, why are horses branded? Whoever got it. Okay.
I typed into Google, why are horses branded? AI overview said, people brand horses to establish permanent proof of ownership, to deter theft or identity to animals, ranch, breed, registry, or lineage. unlike microchips, which require.
Read
That nigga listening to us.
Read that last part.
We ain't even ask about a microchip.
Unlike microchips, right, which require a scanner to read, visual brand acts as an immediate, undetectable sign of who owns or bred the horse.
Well, what's going to be the scanner is this whole system they're setting up.
Right.
They're setting up data centers. They're setting up flock cameras. They're setting up a digital hub. That's what's going to identify you.
Right in front of you. Yeah.
Your thoughts, everything is going to be on that.
How long they say when you can serve your sentence for the prisoners? They gonna put them in that thing and they gonna serve their time.
Right. You can basically
yeah,
serve
yeah.
30 years in 10 minutes, but they're implanting the you got to put a chip in your head, and they're implanting the experience in your head.
Right.
So you may think, you know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Just imagine that.
You know what I did, right? I went to the word charagma.
Uh-huh.
Now, when you scroll down to where it says word/phrase/strong search,
Uh-huh.
you know, I went to the previous Strongs, and then I went to the next Strongs. The next Strongs, right, is karaktari. And it says, the instrument used for engraving or carving.
Mm.
It says, the mark stamped upon the instrument or wrought out on it. A mark or figure burned in, Leviticus 13:28, or stamped on an impression. The exact expression, the image of any person or thing, mark, likeness, precise reproduction in every respect, facsimile, which that goes into something else, but the point is the instrument used for engraving or carving.
Carving.
The mark stamped upon the instrument or wrought out on it. Because I just went to the next, you know,
Yes. Yeah.
the next word. Heavy.
Heavy. So the Lord gave John a heavy vision, and is speaking right now, and they're doing this all over the world. Okay, the micro C-hip is going to be the next wave of technology.
Right.
They basically saying okay, you had the computer, you had the cell phone. The next wave of technology is going to be through microchips. And what did Trump say? He wants to be the #1 producer of them. Okay? Elon Musk said he's building here in Texas, all right, a microchip producing, because they want it in everything.
Mm-hmm.
All right, animals, humans, okay, cars, everything. They want everything to be tracked and traced, because this new world order gives them the ability to set up a left-hand birthright for themselves. And see, in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to have all of that technology, but it's going to be in righteousness. We're going to have the ability to know what someone's thinking. We're going to have chariots over, surveil, all of that. But they're trying to set up a left-handed version of it.
Right.
And in the process, everything is dying. You see? So we're here. We're at the point where that very vision that John saw is being played out right before our very eyes. And then you have men reluctant to talk about it.
Yep.
Whether they took a deal or whether it's pride, they're getting ready to be hit in the face with it.
Right.
Because everything that's happening on the planet Earth, including sodomites, can be explained by the scriptures.
Yep.
Why is it all these sodomites? Well, there's Sodom in Egypt. What's up with this technology? Well, it said he would do miracles.
Yeah.
It said in the we should be able to explain everything happening, the wars, the technology, with the scriptures, man.
Right. And that's why it says, if at all possible, they would deceive the very elect, because of the power of the miracles that he would have,
Right.
the ability to do. So that shows you that this technology is going to be deceptive.
Mm-hmm.
This is the digital renaissance.
That's it.
Because the Renaissance was all about what? Deception. The new digital Renaissance is about the deception of this new system they got coming up in place.
Mm-hmm. And to speak against it is to speak against healing. It's to speak against God, their God. So it's getting ready to be illegal to speak against these things, because they're showing you people with ALS. All of a sudden, you got Chris Johnson. Nigga just had 8,000 yards in one season. Now this nigga just sitting looking at the screen, and his voice is talking, but his mouth not moving. He got a chip.
Would it look like that nigga?
That don't even look like him. But they're doing this to show you this technology is to heal, to help.
Yep.
They're doing that more and more. Is coming out. People with the ability, he can't walk. basically it's a savior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's basically replacing Yahweh Shai. Now the lame can walk through me.
Yeah.
The blind can see through me.
There you
The
go.
nigga can play Donkey Kong without even moving his arms because he's using his brain through this brain chip. So they're presenting it as a
Miracle.
as a matter of fact. Can we get that in Revelation 13? He had power to do in the sight of the beast to do miracles, and this is what's going to deceive a lot of people.
Yeah.
Basically, they're going to say, "Well, how are y'all speaking against this technology? Y'all ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
This man can walk now. You're against progress. You're against life."
Because Esau done basically put people to sleep with the fact that he can cure you with shit.
Yeah.
But so Jake has depended upon this man for so much, so long, they forgot about the Most High. Now your whole hopes and thought process is on what he can do for you.
And are they really healed?
Right.
They're still in the wheelchair.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You still, you know,
Up
still,
around.
still, you know what I'm saying? Slobbing. You still can't get hard. Can't your,
Damn.
you know, your wife. You know what I'm saying? You see the Edomite women, you know, pushing that. They got a whole nother man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's just you able to move because they connected
The
the
brain.
part of your brain that was disconnected, but now you can do it, but you can't do nothing else.
Right. Can't do nothing. When Yahweh Shai healed you, you got up and walked.
That's it.
Right.
You actually saw,
Right. Yeah.
you know, the demons was casted out of people.
Right.
This technology is putting demons on people.
Yes.
It is the total opposite. Like they trying to be the most side on the left hand side, but everything they do is botched. You know, it's limited.
It's limited, and it has all kind of side effects.
Yep.
Go ahead.
This is Revelation chapter 13, starting at verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
And this is where we are now. This is America, which is the final, you know, the last leg of the Roman Empire. Pretty much this is the Greco-Roman Empire. We know the Greeks is what started the beast system, but Rome is what gave them their print in the earth, their strength. And that's what they pretty much built. This Renaissance was built off of the back of the Greco-Roman Empire. America, all right, which came out of the British, all right, before them the French, the Spanish, all of these different empires basically brought back the image of Rome in the form of the Renaissance. Okay? And America is pretty much the last leg of it, along with the EU, NATO. Okay, and as we can see, the two horns like a lamb, the Democratic and Republican system, they swear in on the Bible. Okay, but nothing but anti-Messiah rhetoric goes forth after this devil starts signing forth his legislation. So they played you with this Democrat-Republican rhetoric. Now they're getting ready to bring forth, all right, a technocracy, dragon-like draconian measures in order to rule the earth. They're going to rule the earth with, you know, with brute force to bring forth this NWO. Because they're going to make it illegal to speak against this technology. They're going to make it illegal to speak against the people at the forefront of it. And the penalty is going to be harsh. That's the government that's getting ready to take over America. And now your government is in the hands of a foreign entity
There you go.
that don't give two shits about the American people.
That's why they're down. They're expanded, but they're downsizing. If that makes sense. That's why they have these 15-minute cities now. More of these complexes being built. I think it was a Jake who was a truck driver down here who was doing that video. About with Frisco when he was delivering that stuff. He said, man, they're building everything you need inside these complexes now.
Yeah.
You know? So what? So essentially what? You either gonna do remote work from the crib or wherever you work is gonna be nearby. Oh, I can just get groceries when I go to the crib. Because it's
Everything gonna be right there.
Everything gonna be right there, bro.
And it's very convenient.
Yes.
And that's what the Elder Pastor said years ago. He said, you know, the thing about the micro C is going to make everything very convenient, but that convenience comes at a cost.
Yep.
That's why everybody got so addicted to fast food, because it's convenient.
Yep.
Like, man, I'm tired, I'm lethargic, man. Let me get this double cheeseburger because it tastes good too, but it's convenient.
Which that goes back to Rome. Fast food goes back to Rome.
This is Rome 2.0.
The dainties, which are the, you know, liparos, which are the fats. You know, the comfort food.
Mhm.
That tastes good, but it does nothing for the body.
No.
It doesn't feed the cells, doesn't do anything for it, but destroys you. If you know, like if you eat like that all the time,
Yeah.
it destroys you. You know?
Blocks arteries.
Yep.
This is back in Revelation chapter 13, verse 12. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him.
Rome,
That's right.
America exercise all the power of Rome.
That's right.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed.
Boom.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny that when you do the research now, that you ask them if America was built upon the principles of Rome, sometimes they'll say, no, that's just a conspiracy theory. But that's exactly what they did. Because why would you have, you know, Roman numerals on the back of a dollar bill, Latin writing on the back of a dollar bill? What does America have to do with Latin writing?
Yeah.
What does America have to do with pyramids? You know, and those are the pyramids of Cheops, going back to Egypt. You know, so everything that these devils do mirrors Egypt and Rome.
That's it.
Because America is spiritually known as Egypt and Rome.
And why is the representation of America evil?
There you go.
Like
Same
it was
thing
with
as the
Rome.
Roman Empire. It's the same thing as all the seven major empires of Esau. They all carried the eagle at one point or another.
Yep. Yep. The
Because-
Colosseum, everything.
Yeah, because they wanted, Benjamin Franklin wanted to make the turkey the national bird of America. He said, nah, we're going to have the eagle.
That's the thing. That movie you just mentioned with Shannon Tatum was Eagles because he had that I guess that representation and had that statue of the eagle. It wasn't a statue, but it was a symbol of the eagle.
Right, it was the standard. The
Oh,
standard
yeah.
for the Roman Empire because that's what they carried. And his father, who actually went to war with the Picts, they pretty much, you know, took them down and they had the standard with them. So he had to go rescue it to bring back the, just for lack of better words, glory back to, you know, his name.
Yeah.
You know, his family name.
That's right. This is back in Revelation chapter 13, verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
When NATO bombed Kosovo, and eventually you have events like Nagasaki and Hiroshima, which is crazy. He's the only one that's ever used the nuke, but he's in the news blaming everybody else for having them and getting ready to use them.
Iran can't have a nuke.
Right. You
Because
know?
they'll use it. They're the biggest terrorist group on the planet.
Right. Remember it was Iraq? When did they ever use it?
No, at WMDs.
Come on, man. So the scriptures, John is describing everything that we're seeing to a T. And that technology and that the ability to bomb people like that was never seen before.
Right.
See? But now we're living at the time where all of these different nations got this technology.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And everybody mirrored America. Because when you go back to skyscrapers, there's skyscrapers all over the planet.
Right.
Why? The first skyscraper was in America. 10-foot building, insurance building in Chicago. Everybody else, you know, mirrored after America. Everything you see the world doing is what they call Americanization.
Right.
Following behind everything that America does, which what America is doing is, you know, pretty much mimicking what ancient Rome did.
That's right. Yep.
As you were saying earlier, Elder, you know, about the Colosseum,
Yep.
you know, the bread and circuses.
Bread and circuses, the Senate,
Mhm.
inauguration,
Yeah.
all these things go back to Rome. So when you're into the system, you're in the center, you're worshiping Rome.
Yeah.
You're bowing to Rome. And that's pretty much what from the Renaissance going forward, all of the classics and everything associated with the Greco-Roman thought, that humanist ideology, okay, that brute, you know, prideful, that godless way of running an empire was pretty much brought back through the deadly wound being healed.
Right.
But see, now they have technology. So now the idols of the past can now be played out through a system that you're living in. See, idols of the past back in the day, they just sat there and there were different practices tied to them, different behaviors. But now, like even a robot dog, that goes back to an ancient idol. Okay, statues coming to life. That all of that stuff goes back to ancient idols, which now, when you see a robot walking through the shit, this is all idols. These are all the myths and mythology of the ancient Greco-Roman Empire coming to life right before your very eyes. Okay, this thing is deep.
Yeah.
Right? So he's been given the power to bring about miracles on the earth. Go finish that. Oh, you got something?
And he's identifying everything before.
Yeah.
But we'll see. No, we already know.
Yeah. Baloo talking about what we'll see. No, well, if you're a real prophet, you would be saying it before it happened.
Right.
That's right. This is just a land back off the apostle and elders' points on how today's modern time is nothing more than a reiteration of what was going on back in ancient times. This is ancient Rome. The origin, the term comes from ancient Rome, where the population was split into two main groups. Patricians, the wealthy, noble ruling class who held political power, that'd be looked at as who today? The conservatives, the Republicans, right? And then you have plebeians, the working class citizens.
The common people.
Yeah, the common people, the ones the Democrats are so called for, we're for the working man. Because both parties talk about that bullshit, but they all under the same colony.
They all for what is known as a democracy.
That's right.
Which is voting in a president and concept of voting and
that's right.
And then they control, because don't you know there's more parties?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, sure.
And you never hear about none of these other candidates. All right? Ron Williams, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm like, who this nigga?
I want to clean. He talking about all it, but you never see, he's never represented. They always put these two particular candidates before your face every year. These two parties are forced down your throat.
Right. That's right.
Where does that come from?
That's it.
Yep. It says with the plebeians that the working class citizens such as farmers, bakers, and builders who initially lacked political rights. The conflict plebeians fought for equal rights over many years in a period called the conflict of the orders. And as you know, we don't want no equal rights. Fuck equal rights, man. We want the kingdom. We're not here to, rub elbows with heathens, man. We want rulership.
Right.
You know?
Right. So everything we're witnessing was foretold by John the Revelator before it happened.
Right. And the Lord identified it in this time by his prophets.
Right.
And the prophets have been warning, and they've been being scoffed at. But now that the platform of everything is playing out, now everybody's an expert in the MOTB.
Right. We'll see. Back in Revelation chapter 13, I'll reread 13 again. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth.
Yeah, that's the point. Yep, read that. Yeah, that's what I want.
Okay. Verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live.
So he's basically now saying you're going to have to merge yourself with the idol.
Yeah.
Okay? And pretty much the image of the beast is everywhere, but now they're setting up a system to where you yourself are going to have to conform with your body, with your soul.
Yeah.
You're going to have to basically put the idol in you. Okay? And this technocracy being set up, those who are against it, against the data centers, against this, against that, pretty much they're going to make it hard for you to live. Yeah. You're going to be basically killed from the system. And laws are going to be passed to where certain people be physically put down.
Right. Yeah. And then they're going to have areas where they're going to bring a large concentration of people, to pretty much introduce this mark.
That's it.
And they either going to have to take it, and eventually, after so many people take it, they're going to put people, actually delete people.
Right.
You know, for not taking it.
Mhm.
Because at first it's going to be a voluntary system. Most people are going to get duped because most people are not paying attention to what's going on. So many people are so tied into the technology of this world that anything new that comes out, they got to have it.
Right.
They got to be, you know, they got to keep up with the technical Joneses, you know? And then eventually, the ones that resist, they're going to find it, some, not all of them, but a certain amount of them are going to find themselves being beheaded so that they can glorify the Most High in that fashion
Right.
and fulfill prophecy.
Yep. So if you don't bow to the technocracy that's setting up,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to pass laws and legislation that's going to be harsh.
Yeah.
This is what we're up against.
Spoke as a dragon.
Right.
Calling them out.
Because you have these Christians, they'll say, well, you'll bring up the mark of the beast. They'll say, well, we ain't going to be around during that time.
Yeah.
Basically, they're going to already be raptured out.
Nope.
Well, the Lord says certain of the elect are going to be beheaded for standing and speaking against that.
That's it.
Meaning the true remnant are going to be here.
Yeah.
Okay? And this is what we're up against. So, again, as he's setting up this technocracy, pretty soon your constitution will be wiped away. That's what he just described.
Mm.
You had two horns like a lamb, and they swear in and they tell you you have your civil liberty. That's all getting ready to be gone.
Oh, yeah.
So what's next is going to be scientists and technical experts are going to have sway over laws that are going to be passed.
Yeah.
So in the sense of a new pandemic, or, you know, anything, they're going to be even during 2020, who was it telling you what to do? It was scientists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, your president pretty much took a back seat, and the agenda was given over into the hands of the likes of Fauci, Gates.
Yep.
So how much more as this thing goes further, they're gonna do totally away with your constitution.
Yeah.
And what's deemed medicine, what's deemed healing, what's dealing the way to move forward with through a catastrophic event. Let's say that all of the lights go out, and they allow people to just go crazy for about 3 weeks. When they turn the lights back on, they can say in order for anyone to return to in order for us to return to any time of normalcy, everybody needs to be identified.
System.
That's it. And then you notice when especially this election that just passed, you know, who did Trump bring in there? Big
Technocrats.
businessmen, technocrats.
That's it.
You know why? Because everything is moving that way. Wasn't his first term? Didn't he say he's against the CBDCs?
Right.
Because the government can control
Right,
it and all this
right,
and
right.
other. But now all of a sudden, everybody that's on the cabinet is a technocrat or
Right.
somehow tied to them. Come on, man.
Yep.
And that's why the Iranians don't respect you, because the only person you sent out there that was a real representative was J.D. Vance.
Right.
Them other individuals, those are nothing but big business opportunists,
That's it.
you know? And they were just like, who the fuck are these guys?
Yep. Your government has been given over into the private sector. So the bidding of the private sector, these people you haven't elected, you didn't vote for them,
Yeah.
are the ones who have sway over the direction of where the country's going. So as you can see, you see all these data centers being put up everywhere. You see flock cameras being put up everywhere. You see the AI basically being implemented into your everyday life.
Yep.
That's not, you didn't vote for that.
Yeah.
But there's a group, all right, when they talk about the government being now merged with the private sector, okay, pretty much the bidding, because your government was really made to serve you.
Yeah.
The government is supposed to serve the people. But through what? Blackmail, you know, the buying, you know, money, this thing called money. They're able to buy out everything. So now the entrance of your government goes into the hands of some Satanist. You don't know where the hell he at. You don't know who he is.
What he looks like.
But it goes in line. As a matter of fact, keep reading. You might as well just keep reading that chapter real quick. Unless somebody else got something.
I had something.
Okay.
Just off the comment board.
Yep.
GMS, pray always, hopeful elect.
Yep.
2 Thessalonians 2:10 in the NLT. It says, he will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction,
Mm.
because they refuse to love and accept the truth and that will save them. That's it, you know, and that's the thing. What we're seeing is a major form of deception. And he's going to cause certain events that's going to have people to sway towards what he wants them to do is what? To receive what? Let's see here.
Yep. because they're not connected to the spirit of Yahweh Bashar Shai, because the very words that are the stability for Jake, they're casting away. That's what the Lord said, I will go return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and their affliction, they will seek me early. But there's going to come a point where the Lord is not going to be readily available for anyone that isn't being, getting prepared right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the opportunity is now.
Yep. They're gonna use fear tactics. They're gonna use the flesh. They're gonna threaten you with the fact you can't drink water, you can't have food unless you bow to their image and then take their mark. So he's setting up the realm where you're gonna bow to his image through this technocracy, right? Because Rome is now went digital.
Yeah.
Your government is now what? It's being ran via technology. Okay.
Hey, if you notice in the movie 1984. Right, they were pretty much in prison in that system, and when they went to the mess hall to go eat, what did they have? Processed food, fake meat.
That's it.
Isn't meat at all. Tastes like meat, looks like meat. Isn't meat at all.
That's crazy.
That's
it. This is where we are.
And that's pretty much what they're introducing to the people. The new system that's going up, the people that comply with them, you're going to be eating this bullshit.
Yeah.
Yep.
The alcohol would be a better choice than the shit that they're gonna give you.
Eat the bugs.
Yep. You should eat the bugs.
Yep.
Yep. Just like that woman from Trinidad, Texas, who made that post on Facebook about the city's water. They arrested her talking about those are false claims, and it was that bro. She was running the water. It was discolored. She was like, hey, but the DA they refused to prosecute. But that's coming. They gonna come for us. They gonna go for posts. They gonna this and that. Like bro,
they have an answer for every. They have studied the human psyche. Everything people think they plan on doing to get around this, they've already got an answer for it.
That's it.
The living off the grid. They go make that shit illegal, or they go get your ass.
Well, just like they're making it illegal for people to be homeless now.
There you go. Like damn.
Yeah, if you ain't got nowhere to go, arrest his ass.
Arrested.
They want the masses to worship the Roman way. That's all.
There you go.
crazy.
And Rome kicked people out of their empires. People who didn't bow to emperors. They passed legislation to put them to death. So that draconian way, that's getting ready to come back.
Yeah, well, remember they kicked Jake out of Rome.
There you go. There you go. And they're already saying it. They want the Haitians out.
Yeah.
They telling them, nigga, you got to go back. Illegal immigrants. The narrative. What's getting ready to happen is that there's getting ready to be a finger pointed at Jake because he's losing a war. He's getting caught left and right. All of his heroes are through. You hear this? You got an 80-something-year-old president shitting on himself. The one before him was doing the same thing. It's a bunch of losers. Everything's crumbling and falling apart. So he's going to have to basically make himself a hero by destroying somebody. So he's going to accuse you Israelites.
Right.
To make, because he has to, because he's losing in Iran clearly. So basically he's getting ready to accuse you Jakes as the reason to why everything's going wrong. Because even at the beginning of his presidency, he was telling Americans the reason you don't have this, the reason you don't have that is the immigrants. Now we're finding out here it is the 1%, the elite are the reason that people don't have shit.
Right.
Yeah. Even people who get welfare, that's a small percentage of where the money is going.
That's right. They pocketing the rest.
War. AI infrastructure, war. Your taxpaying dollars paying for that.
$200 million ballroom.
They don't remember they want Jake to get out the country, but then again, they'll round up Jake now to give you an ankle monitor.
Yeah, the Haitians have to have a ankle monitor.
Lead to the,
That's
come
it.
on, man.
Because they took away their protections. Because the Haitians used to have protections. They can flee the catastrophic event over there and come over here, and they were given certain rights. Trump taking it away.
Yeah, because a lot of those immigrants are not being deported no more. They got them housed in them goddamn detention centers. This one girl said she was sitting there for a while and had to get a cup. It took 2-3 days to get a cup to get some water. Damn. So they housing them. So if you ain't got the money to house them, let these people go back to their country.
Yeah.
But you keeping them in these detention centers because you getting ready to chip everybody, man.
Torture and chip.
That's all.
Where they send up those
TC.
Then making things illegal for you to be homeless. Because the thing is, you're gonna see more people that's gonna be homeless on the streets. Even like say America with no jobs and things like that, they're gonna kick them out in the street. But you don't want to see everybody walking around. They're gonna do what? They're gonna say, well, they're illegal. So you got to what? Put them in something. So they're gonna start putting them in these centers and things like that.
Well, that's what the detention centers are for.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Remember back, was it 2020, 2021, something around there? They had the tent cities. You know, people were, what year was that? When they had those tent cities, people were just living in tents.
Yeah.
They
You know?
they still got them like real heavy. So,
But then they were able to do that, but then they removed them. They got rid of all of them.
yeah.
Right.
Well, you know what they show you there in that movie, They Live. Remember the people were homeless pretty much, they were living in that little thing, then the government came and bulldozed all the little makeshift, shelters.
Right. Crazy, bro. Crazy as hell, man.
Crazy.
This nigga crazy because like, why would you do all of this? This doesn't like, damn. But he's fulfilling prophecy. So he can't stop. He ain't gonna stop until he is stopped.
Well, it says, when thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled.
That's it.
You know? So when you shall cease to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. You know, so you're just pretty much putting the final nails in your coffin.
That's right.
That's it.
You know?
Yep. He's reserved to the very end to fulfill this prophecy. Go ahead.
This is back in Revelation chapter 13, verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
That's where we at.
That's right.
And it's speaking through the system. Now that you add AI with it, it's a whole nother level.
Right.
Like the apostle said, a digital renaissance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they can basically establish all of that rhetoric through law, through AI, through technology.
Yeah.
Okay.
And notice this has been a plan for a long time.
Yeah.
That's why Maya Angelou Bauer said, give me control of the nation's money and I care not who writes its laws. Because if you control the money, you control everything else. And that's the reason why they wanted to get that final central bank in America under the umbrella of a so-called governmental agency, but it really had nothing to do with the government, period. The Federal Reserve.
There's nothing federal about it. Right?
That's it. Because through that act, you couldn't put a charter on it. Because it had an appearance of a federal entity.
Basically a private sector.
There you go.
See, and now your whole government is given over to an entity like that, to where it's unchecked power.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like they put it very, very, very serpent-like on the back of your dollar.
Yeah.
It literally says, announcing Anuit Conceptors, the gods have granted us. This is Latin, by the way. On the back of your dollar, the language of Rome.
There you go.
Anuit Conceptors. All right, Novus Ordo Seclorum. Basically, the gods have granted us the right, or announcing the conception of a new secular age, and it ends with paper money. Now they're doing away with pennies, nickels.
Yep.
You go ahead.
No, yeah, no.
Because I don't know. I know a little bit about it, but
Because that's somebody sent me that. I don't know who sent it to me, but that's what they're going for next. Nickels.
Nickels.
Now there's barely any pennies in circulation anymore. And then when you go to the store now, if it's 502, or let's say it's 507, they're giving you back nickels instead of giving you pennies. But then when they take the nickels away, are they gonna round it up to a dime?
Yeah, so they're getting ready to do away with physical money, because physical money can create a black market.
Yeah.
With physical money, you could cut hair on the side and make all the money you want. With physical money, you can sell pastries. You know what I'm saying? You can, but with digital money, it can be controlled. You know what I'm saying? It can be tracked. It can be traced. Each purchase is pretty much forever seen. Accounted for.
There you go.
And they're gonna use the threat of people over here, doing this and that as a mean. They're doing it. They're basically squeezing everybody into accepting the very system that we've been talking about the whole time we're on it. And John, read the very next verse.
This is verse 16 in Revelation 13. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
Go ahead.
Verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
And see that when you take that mark, you're putting his name on you. You're entering into a marriage, a covenant.
Yeah.
That's a covenant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, what happens when a man takes on to a woman? She takes his name.
Yeah.
Right.
So by entering into this system and bowing to it and taking that mark, you have now been married to the beast.
There you go.
He's basically put it in.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you married?
Are you married? He put it in. He left it in.
That's it.
You his possession now. You know what I'm saying? And that's the war where that's what's getting ready. That's what's happening here.
That's right.
You see, and that very system is getting ready to be mimic. It's going to mimic salvation.
That's it.
It's going to basically be the answer from all of the hell he created. All of the hell he created financially,
Yeah.
you know, with the food, everything. It's going to the answer to it is going to be everybody needs to enter into a system where everything can be tracked, traced, because it's going to be T attacks. It's going to be grid black. It's going to be all kind of hell to where the only answer is going to be we need to identify everybody.
Yeah. And that's why it's good to say a time of trouble such as never
Never
since there was a
before.
nation,
That's it.
even to that same time. And at that time that people shall be delivered, those that are found written in the book
Right.
of life.
Right,
You know, because this the system that he's creating,
right.
where it's going to be so bad, and there's going to be so much persecution and oppression that the Lord's going to have to step in
Intervene, yeah.
for his elect.
That's right.
Yep.
This is
So the day is coming. Let's get that. You end on that. You ain't got
I ain't got to finish it.
Nah, we do that John 9, the time is coming when no man worketh.
There you go.
You know what I'm
9 and
saying?
3.
Yeah, John 9 and
Who
3.
got that? Start around 3. I think it's verses 3 and 4.
Yeah.
John 9 verse 3.
And did you know, brothers got, you want to say something, Patak? Any points? Or?
No.
Yeah. You know, it's a lock here, you know. At the very end. 2 minutes. Get your 2 minutes in, brother.
Coach me up by 20. Bench in.
Nah, hell nah. These are starters right here.
This is John 9 and 3. The point is in verse 4. It says, Yahweh answered, neither has this man sinned nor his parents, but that the works of Yahweh should be made manifested in him. I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work.
Right. The days are coming when no man gonna be working, man.
You can't work because all hell will be out.
Right. All hell. Not only that, our message is directly against everything they're trying to do.
Yeah.
So you have the clashing of Revelation 13 and Revelation 14 playing out right before your very eyes, where he's saying this is what I'm going to do, but we're saying if you do it, you're going to be destroyed. It's wicked.
That's right.
So there's going to come a point where, hey, we gonna be in prison, jail, whatever it may be.
Yep.
Just when it happens, if it happens, because not everybody's going to go through the same thing. But if that's your lot, take it, hey, and just keep thinking about Yahweh Shah, man.
That's it.
Right.
Keep saying this is what, because don't be surprised when everything you've been teaching is happening.
Yeah.
Don't bitch up. Okay, these are the times we're in. This is what we were born for.
That's it.
Right.
To basically look the beast in his face and say, you're going down. To tell him, because the bottom line, let's end it on Revelation 15 and 2, unless you got something.
Can I read that in NLT real quick?
Ashley, and break it down too, brother.
This
please.
is John 9 and 3. We start at verse 3 in the NLT. It said, it was not because of his sins or his parents' sins, which is just going into the, of course, the blind man in the John the 9th chapter. When he was born blind, they asked, the parents asked, who did sin, this man or his parents? And Yahushua is breaking it down that neither one of them. That's not what that is
Right.
purpose for.
Right.
It says John 9 and 3. It was not because of his sins or his parents' sins. Yahushua answered, this happened so the power of the Most High could be seen in him. That
Right,
was
so
what
there's
happened.
particular people with ailments and,
Right.
you got, and we go heal them.
Right.
But they were born that way. Some people were born that way for judgment, but some people were born that way to be healed.
Right.
You know?
Right. Verse 4. It says, John 9 and 4, it says, we must quickly carry out the tasks assigned by the one who sent us. The night is coming, and then no one can work. And that's that night, you know, that darkness that's about to come over the earth.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
bro.
saying? These devils about to bring. You know what I'm saying? And ain't gonna, and the majority of these people ain't gonna have no answers. What's that in Ecclesiastes? You know, they look out the windows be darkened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be looking for answers, and they're not gonna have no answers, man. But the answers are here. You know, you're getting the answers right now. The men of the Lord on the scene, and they breaking all these things down, giving answers. But Jacob, the majority of the Israelites are rejecting the knowledge, man. And the Lord said, you reject knowledge, He's gonna reject you, man. You know what I'm saying? So you're not gonna be given those answers in the coming times, man.
That's it. This is the refreshing when we may cause the weary to rest.
That's right.
They wouldn't, pretty much they wouldn't have it, just maybe paraphrase. You gonna say
So
something?
you got opportunity to work, bro. That's the day, like work now, but then it's gonna be too late to try to go out there and teach. We ain't gonna be teaching then. Shit, it's gonna be a whole different zone.
Get on. You're gonna try to get on fire when the chip is mandated.
You got troops in the street and shit. Nah.
We going out, Arca? No, you go out.
That's your inconvenience.
We've been going out.
That's
We
it.
did that already.
We've been there, done that, Jack.
It ain't gonna be time to go out in that day. That's the result of everything we said.
That's it.
Now that we just sit back and ride the wave of what the next glory, because another glory is coming.
That's it. And that's what we're waiting for. So if you're not fervent for this, that means that you don't believe that next world is coming. You don't believe that your Shai's kingdom is coming. You don't believe that this kingdom is about to be destroyed. You putting all your eggs in this basket. Babylon the Great.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I had a thought about that, like, ever since I had crossed over. Like, bro, I never once doubted that this isn't true. I like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't the poster child of Yasharala, but bro, I was like, damn, like, bro, what is there to doubt?
It gotta be
Everything's-
an answer
bro.
to
How
something.
can you explain
bro.
this?
Yeah.
bro.
And the only way
It's
to
gotta
explain
be,
it
bro.
is
Even
The
on
Lord.
my worst days, bro, this the truth.
He wouldn't put us here without an answer.
Yeah,
Right.
bro.
There's got to be an answer, man. So
Not like swear.
let's get Revelation 15:2 and close it out. Whoever got it.
This is Revelation 15, and verse 2. It says, "And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahweh Shem Yahushua."
See that? So the goal is to get victory. The remnant, the elect, are promised victory over the beast, over his image, and over his mark, man. And it all starts with that blood of Yahweh Shai being shed, that death, burial, and resurrection. It gives us access to this devil, man. Because outside of what we teaching, like how is here, how we gonna get out of it? Is the Lord gonna allow him to just devour us and we all get chipped or just nah, man. There's no way this decrepit Mr. Burns looking freak is just gonna get the victory and do all this wickedness and get away with it. Nah, man. There's victory promised over this devil, man. So
His days are numbered.
days are numbered.
The writing's already on the wall. The prophecies are loud and clear. All we're waiting for is for the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai to put the final touches on it.
That's it, man.
And all this devil got to do is make that move, and it's over.
Move up.
Checkmate. Look.
All right, man. So with that, man, hopefully I will edify. We will give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash.
and double honors as always to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom, Abba, Ball.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Oh man, that was a good lesson.
All the chip information come out.
Yeah, it's like we don't even.